Dacakis
and Marcus Degiusti
from O'Brien Real Estate, another edition of the Northwest Weekly Property News for 2020, where real estate information is on the house. Looking at the numbers first up, like we normally do across this week, as reported by CoreLogic, we have seen the largest amount of home sales occur in the Victorian market since late March, prior to our lockdown. We again saw market resilience with 415 auction results captured, with 71 selling prior and 198 selling under the hammer, 4 selling after auction, with 127 passing in, giving us a clearance rate up from last week to 65.79%. From a private sale perspective, we saw 178 additional sales on last week, recording a whopping 1,106 sales.
With the exception of some hotspots in Victoria, Australia has COVID-19 largely under control. There is no doubt Victoria's current situation is unique, with the tighter measures coming in. Our governments are making the best decisions to keep a lid on coronavirus, keep businesses going and families safe, and once the spread is suppressed, to then transcend us from the pandemic.
We certainly aren't in any typical recession we have experienced before. A typical recession is generally preceded by a boom, inflation goes up, and the Reserve Bank tries to control it with higher interest rates, and then we have a bust. This recession is almost the opposite. Growth is low, interest rates are at record lows, and we haven't had the classic build-up of excesses you'd normally see before a recession.
Moving on to reviewing the numbers across O'Brien. Over the week, O'Brien saw listing numbers remain steady with 69 properties launching. We saw 75 properties move to under contract and 63 confirmed sales across our network. And our highest sale price achieved was $1.87 million.
In the news, spending power across the country remains strong, with sales and Bunnings hardware chain rising 19% in the second half of the fiscal year 2020 until the end of May, and Officeworks up 28%, with many people setting up home offices. Retail trade rose by a record 16.3% in May, the highest in 38 years of records, after falling a record 17.7% in April and rising 8.5% in March.
The Reserve Bank Governor, Dr. Lowe, remained upbeat in his assessment of the economy, remarking that Australia has a fantastic set of underlying fundamentals. He also upgraded his view of the labour market, with the Reserve Bank now estimating that hours worked will decline by 10% rather than 20% decline previously forecast.
The ABS reported the biggest job losses occurred in Victoria, with 70,800 jobs lost in May. Victoria's unemployment grows to 6.9%, up from last April's 6%. You'll notice for the graph that Australians' unemployment has been experiencing an upward trend, but you'll also notice it's still a far cry from the 20% achieved in the 1930s and sub 10% bracket in the 1990s recession. Australia's
Population growth eases to a 13.5-year low. A baby boom hits a 2-year high with 305,700 babies born. Victoria is still the number one state with the highest population growth at 1.87%. A fresh batch of 10,000 first home buyers deposit loan scheme places will be released for the next financial year, starting from 1st of July 2020. For information, Google the NHFIC site. And in trending news, there is speculation brewing the US White House will shortly be unveiling a $1 trillion in new infrastructure spending.
Recently sold this week was 6 Mariner Court in Taylors Lakes. This lovely family home in a Ripon Court location ended up making $720,000 and sold to a lovely upsizing family. Also sold was 9 Lamberti Loop in Caroline Springs. This property was ready to launch to the market, but we ended up matching up a buy to the property prior to launching and sold for a great price of $542,500. That's all for this week. I'm Alex Dacakis.
I'm Marcus Degiusti
from O'Brien Real Estate. Thank you for taking the time to review this week that was. And remember, O'Brien Real Estate is not a financial advisor. You should consider seeking independent legal, financial, taxation, or other advice in relation to your unique circumstances. Have a great week and weekend.